What is going on, guys? Welcome to our Finance Tuesdays. I hope you're having a great week so far. And I want to talk about why active income is the key to building wealth. You probably hear a lot of different advertisements talking about where you need to quit your job so you can fulfill your dreams, that the 9 to 5 is going to keep you enslaved and you'll never make it out of that rat race if you continue to work a 9 to 5 lifestyle. Well, here's the thing, if you have consumer debt, if you have a family to take care of, kids to feed, then before you make that leap, you want to think about, okay, where are my finances at? Do I have enough of my savings? Can I cover 6 to 12 months of emergencies in case this endeavor doesn't work out? If I pursue this idea, do I have the skills and the knowledge to build this out and make a good living off of it? And even if I check off all those boxes, should I take this risk right now? Because if you take that leap, all the responsibilities fall on you when it comes to cost because you're the business owner. You might have to employ somebody because you might not have enough time to do everything and operate things. Are you going to be okay with the next 5 years where your business has to go through a trial and error? Again, trial and error is also important when you're trying to sell a product because you're testing it in the market, trying to see if consumers are going to buy it. So there's a lot of different things that you have to answer for yourself. But if you have this job where you're making over 6 figures a year, should you leave it? It's a very good question to ask yourself because maybe you shouldn't. And I know that's contrary to popular belief because you have entrepreneurs saying, yeah, you should quit your job. You need to leave and take a risk on yourself and bet on yourself. And that's all great. I'm for, working for yourself. But if you don't have enough emergency savings, if you still got some consumer debt to take care of those things first. Because I think it's very unwise to take that leap, especially if you don't have a good plan in place. If you haven't built the skill up to a point where you can actually go out on your own and make income, if you haven't developed those skills yet, then you want to continue to work on that while you have a 9 to 5. See, what people don't realize is, the four quadrants that Robert Kiyosaki talks about, where the employee is a bad guy, active income is bad, self-employed. You want to be on the owner investor side. That's awesome. What people don't realize about Robert Kiyosaki is, his first business didn't work out. It went bankrupt. He was actually a sales associate at one time. Nothing wrong with him. I'm not trying to come for him at all. I'm just trying to explain to you guys there is a process to building wealth. And if you have a really good job right now, I would say keep building out that skill because what's going to happen is you're going to become a master of something. You see, a lot of these people in society, what they have is time of spending on a skill. So they've spent 5, 10, 15 years on something to a point where they have all this knowledge that they can share to the society today. And when you have that type of skill set already built out, you're going to be more valuable in the market. But if you've only spent 3 or 4 years on one thing, you're not as valuable right now. That's just a reality. You have to continue to pound the pavement, plant the seed, and make sure you're watering it day in and day out. So if you're making between $8,000 to $12,000 a month as a household, and let's just say you're making 7 to 8 and your spouse is making 4 or 5 thousand a month, then should you give up your income in order to go off this opportunity in hopes of increasing it, but you don't know the actual numbers right away? You don't have actual proof where you've been making consistent income with this idea. Rather than go that direction, I would say still work on your idea and your dream. But if you're making this kind of money, continue to save. I would encourage you to save 40% of your income. Don't be a consumer. If you can save 40% of that, let's say you're saving $4,000. Well, you got $48,000 by the end of the year. If you're sticking a life insurance policy, one, it's protected, it grows tax free. You're going to make 3 to 5% per year. I know it's not a lot, but it's protected. You can borrow from your capital to go out and invest in something. And here's the beautiful part, you're protecting yourself because if you have an emergency happen to a family member, say your kid gets sick, your wife gets sick, you have the means to take care of them. But if you give up this income, and let's just say something happens to them 6 months down the road, you don't have enough money to take care of them, we're going to go out and use credit cards. And now you set yourself backwards. It's just something to think about. Here's my plan. Now, recently, I just paid off my salary. I was going to wait till January, and I just say, you know what? Let's go and knock this out. And I'm done with that debt. It's great. It's a great feeling. I just got federal loans left and my wife's car payment. Now, with all that being said, I got to restore my capital in my life insurance policy now because I just borrowed from my account. Now you're like, well, why would you borrow? Well, I'm paying myself back. That's the beautiful part about life insurance. It's going to take some time to rebuild that capital. And then once my wife is done nursing school, which is going to be of next spring, she's going to open up a policy and we're going to build her life insurance policy next and save. See, I'm in no rush to do anything right now. I'm not in a rush to buy a house. I'm not in a rush to, buy, products I might not need. I just want to be smart and intentional with my money. So I want to share some practical things that I'm applying. So right now I've worked 3 AEPs. That's the busiest time of the year when it comes to insurance. I plan on doing another 5 of these before I even consider doing full-time commission. I said consider. And the reason why is, well, my wife Michelle starts her nursing career. It's going to be next year. It's going to take her a while to build up her resume and get better. So in about 4 or 5 years, we're going to have kids. By then, I expect our federal loans to be paid off. With all that being said, I'm taking my time. When this YouTube page eventually becomes monetized, am I going to quit my job? No, I'm not. And the reason why I'm not going to do that is because, well, one, I need to see income on this page consistently, and I will reevaluate in 4 or 5 years where I'm at. By then, I would have at least, I believe it would be like, 8 years in the insurance industry. So that's a lot of experience, a lot of knowledge I've gained. It would be about 7, 8 years doing YouTube content. So I have all this experience. And here's the key: I'm only focused on 2 things. I'm not committing to anything else. I'm not going after another income opportunity over here or go after this idea. No, I want to see how this plays out. And that's the thing. Like, if you have a skill that you want to work on, you got to be patient. There's going to be a lot of trial and error. There's going to be a lot of ups and downs. So if you have an active income stream where you're able to save, I would rather you save at least $500 a month. That way you have protection. I would rather you have $6,000 to $10,000 a year you've already saved up, so you feel good about your finances. So you're actually moving forward rather than going after an idea where you hope to make income. Not to say it's not possible, but if you don't have the means or enough proof that you can make income, or you have made income, I should say, then it might not be the best move right away. It might be best, especially if you got consumer debt. You're just delaying those payments, and it's hurting your credit. Active income is so important to building wealth. You need it because if you don't have income, you can't invest. If you don't have income, you can't, save. And if you have an emergency happen, we got to go out and borrow money. That's just not a good idea. So if you're working a 9 to 5 job, especially a sales position like me, I would say stick to it. Don't quit. Don't get frustrated. Understand there's going to be ups and downs. If you're in an industry where you're not growing, reconsider your career path. I encourage everybody to learn about sales because I think sales runs everything. If I ask you what your favorite color is, you're going to sell me on that. If I ask you what your favorite movie is, you're going to sell me why this is you're selling me on that idea, right? I always encourage you guys just to keep going with your processes with work. Don't feel like, oh, I'm not going anywhere in life because I'm still an employee. You're not. You're just, carving out your own path. If you have an idea on the side, you're building maybe a YouTube page or a podcast, keep building that out. Be practical, especially if you have consumer debt. Make sure you're knocking those out as well. And the best is yet to come for you guys, and I believe in all of you. So hope you guys enjoyed this video today. Thanks for sticking to the end. Love to hear your thoughts on what you think about active income being a key part to building wealth. Make sure you guys like and subscribe to the channel, and I'll see you in the next one.